No matter the genre, maybe it's a 1960s Western, maybe it's a 1970s police detective show, maybe it's an 80s drama, a 90s love story, or a 21st century space race. Whatever the genre, whatever the decade, we look into it in our cult classic series. And up for discussion this week, we're going to go back to the years of 1996 in total, two iconic movies, and then another one that came along our way in 1999 featuring on the iconic series, which was there four movies in total. This actor starred and was the main star in three of these movies. His first break came on to his first acting break. He took over the role, but an iconic Belgian man had starred in the first one. So only fair that a Switzerland guy, the next door neighbor, would take over the reins for the next sort of three. And he played the iconic character Alex Cardo in Bloodsport 2 and Bloodsport 3. And then he came back again in a new role in Bloodsport The Dark Kumatai, playing the cop Keller as the wonderfully talented Daniel Bernhardt. Daniel, first of all, I suppose following in the foot shoes of what we call an iconic movie series, we talk about it in terms of Lethal Weapon, Die Hard, in terms of real stunt sequences, in terms of fight movies, sequences up there, one of the all-time greats. In terms of Bloodsport, what has that meant to you in terms of your career?
Come on. It's like, think about it. I was a total martial arts geek, done martial arts my whole life. I started when I was 15. And in my 20s, I was living in Paris and New York. I was modeling and I was in the fashion business. And I remember I was a huge Van Damme fan. We all watched Bloodsport and Kickboxer and I was just like, wow, this is amazing. And then I would say, maybe like 92, 93, I was living in New York and I was cast to do a commercial for Johnny Versace starring opposite Van Damme.
Mhm.
That's how I got my break. I met him and we had this great time. I did a commercial with him together and he asked, who can fight? And I was like, I can. He goes, oh, show me. And I was doing a couple of kicks. And he goes, oh, you're great. So we had a little fight scene together, and it was shot by Bruce Weber for Johnny Versace jeans. And that was my first introduction into movie fighting. And I went like, this is insane. I got to do this. So I just put myself a little reel together, went out to California, and next thing I got Bloodsport 2, and then I took over the franchise from Van
Yeah.
Damme.
Daniel, the training and the dedication that went into that movie, because the sequences are out of this world in some of the fight sequences. They were real. People took hits, people took blows, people got hurt, people fought injured, dare I say, in terms of some of these movies as well. It was real non-stop, hard-hitting. The realism was perfection really that you tried to show off in terms of this. It was, dare I say, it looked more real than what you saw in the WWE back in the day. I know Bloodsport in terms of realism, in terms of how much to shoot one of these movies did it take out of you in terms of the mental fatigue and the preparation? Because shooting a movie like that, I imagine, is very demanding.
Bloodsport 2 was a tough one. We had a rough team. We had a rough director. We lost the movie was supposed to be directed by Isaac Florentine. Unfortunately, that didn't work out. Our producer decided to direct, and it was rough. So the shoot was rough. I got injured. I had a bad injury just by, doing fights over and over and over. So that was rough. Then I got food poisoning, which really sucked about a week before shooting. So the whole movie was just like, oh my God, what else can happen? But we made it. We made it through. We put a movie together. It was a lot of fun. Obviously, the fight scenes are all choreographed. So there's no real hitting. We
Yeah.
don't hurt each other. We don't. When an injury happens, is like when I got injured, I injured myself by doing a kick too hard and I ripped my psoas. I overstretched it. Actually, the only people who were really hitting were the Thai guys. There was a Thai fight, and even though it was choreographed, these guys were really going for it, like sparring. I was like, oh my God, don't put me with him. I don't want to fight him. This guy is crazy.
And Daniel, how important was it to have for the first Bloodsport movie to have Donald Gibb come back from the original movie and to tie in the sort of franchise? Obviously, you were starring, you were the main role, but to have someone from the original movie to blend the sort of two movies to make this sort of the tie into the whole sort of world from the first movie, and then obviously that maybe propel you to go forward then on your own. But having Donald from the link from the first movie, how important was that?
I think it was really important. He's a great actor and he has a great look, and we needed somebody from the first one to tie it into the second one. We just needed some connection. We were not allowed to use the same name. There were legal reasons why we couldn't use Frank Dukes, and I don't really know why. So I had to get a different name. But I thought it was great. He's just such an iconic. He was such an iconic actor in the first Bloodsport, and I'm so glad we had him. It was really wonderful also to have James Hong in it, who played my master, which was amazing. My real life master, Grandmaster Heel Cho, he was in the movie. That was awesome too. He played the judge, and then I don't know if you know this, I we had Chad Stahelski in it. I don't know if
Yeah.
you know that. Do you know who that is?
Not really, no, in terms of that.
Chad Stahelski is one of the biggest directors in the world right now. He
Okay.
directed John Wick 1, 2, 3,
Okay.
4. So Chad Stahelski actually did a fight scene with me in Bloodsport 2. That's how we met. And that became my favorite fight. And then based on that, we gave him to coordinate Bloodsport 3.
Mm.
So I've had a friendship with Chad over the last 30 years, and he's become one of the biggest directors in the world.
Yeah. And Daniel, in terms of shooting, Bloodsport, first one in Bangkok, then on to Sri Lanka for the sort of second one, and then on to Bulgaria for the third one. I suppose different forays, and I suppose in Bulgaria you shot out of a real prison. But I know a good lot of movies are shot these days in Bangkok and Thailand, but for then it was probably a bit of a new thing. But shooting in Sri Lanka is a real rare one to me.
It was very strange. I mean, the people who made the movie, I don't know why they did it in Sri Lanka. I have no idea. I did enjoy being there.
Mm.
It was really rough. I remember we shot for 4 weeks and had like three-quarter movie. Then we had to do pickup shots. That I didn't understand either. And then I didn't understand doing Bloodsport 4, which was a completely different character. Didn't understand. Had to do it. I had no choice. I had to do it.
Mm. And Daniel, obviously some famous names. John Rhys Davies, a legendary actor in this part of the world in terms of the UK as well. And he really sort of caught the eye as well. And to have an actor of sort of different genres and classical genres, did he leave his mark on you in any way?
I just remember what I really remember about him is his voice.
Mm.
He was such a good actor. He had such a terrific voice. The way he spoke, he was just so precise and he was great. It was really fun working with him. I don't really, it's been a long time. I have more memories on Bloodsport 2
Mm.
because that was so unique. Bloodsport 3 was really good too, but it was different. It was not the same like Bloodsport 2. Bloodsport 2 was just the first time. It was so unique, and it was Thailand, and that movie, it just made perfect sense, right?
Mm.
Sri Lanka was, I thought, an odd choice just for location. And then Bulgaria, I didn't get either why we went to Bulgaria for number 4. That was kind of odd, I thought. Strange.
On that note, Daniel Bernhardt, thanks for sharing your memories of Bloodsport, appearing in three of the Bloodsport movies, leaving your mark as the Alex Cardo sort of character in this episode of Into the Vault Cult Classic Series.